Chapman for three. Bingo! Curry got it for the win. He is hard to believe. Here's Jordan. Magic a 360 turn with the dribble. Magic down the middle. He got it into Worthy. Third in the corner. Double fake.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another 2021-22 post-game recap. Doing several sports tonight, but obviously basketball to start. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube at Dime Dripper Podcast, Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify, and of course, to follow us on all social media platforms at Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Dime Dripper Pod. Make sure especially to follow on Twitter because next week we will be starting my first ever space, a Twitter space, my regular show on Hoop Spaces, Dimes Bank, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time on Thursdays, every Thursday for the foreseeable future, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. That would be 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. Talking anything basketball, past, present, future. You can get your voice up there, get your account. Make sure to follow me and request to speak. And I look forward to hearing from everybody at the space. So for today's agenda, we're going to be talking Clippers-Warriors, which was the early game today at 12:30. Then we're going to be talking Lakers-Pistons, which just concluded. They should have had Clippers-Warriors at 6:30, but I guess because the Clippers are playing again tomorrow, they wanted to give them enough time to rest. Then I'll briefly talk about the Rams and the Packers. The Rams just lost 3 games in a row. Not great as we close down this NFL season. And then I'll also be talking Chelsea, Man United, and some results from the Prem this weekend as well. So make sure super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1, a dime. Obviously, again, YouTube algorithms not giving us favors. So make sure you guys leave a comment on the video. Let's get back in favor of these algorithms. Leave a comment on the video. Make sure to like, make sure to share if that's what you do. But yeah, let's get back in favor of those algorithms. So we're popping up on feeds again because right now they are not messing with us still. Clippers and the Warriors. The Clippers, obviously, I'm trying to see how much we've progressed from the last time we played the Warriors on opening night. But in the same way, the Warriors have gained separation with the rest of the league since we played them. They have started to, mount their resurgence as a title contender in these last couple of weeks and as the season has begun. And they are 17-2 heading into this game. Steph Curry is the front runner for the MVP right now. Draymond Green, from what I've heard, has been playing at an all-star level again. Andrew Wiggins is guarding the best player just like last season and is more comfortable in his role. And Jordan Poole is another scorer they didn't have last season. And a lot of shooting alongside them with guys like Nemanja Bjelica and Otto Porter. Now, in the first quarter, I thought the Clippers started out really well. We were really active on defense. You could really tell that both teams are good defensive teams. I saw a stat today that said that we were number 1 and number 2 in the league in defensive rating, Warriors being number 1. And you could see it today. The defense was sharp. I thought we were doing a really good job, talking. And whenever you watch the Warriors, or whenever I watch the Warriors, especially when the Clippers play them, I'm always watching Steph Curry when we're on defense, when the Clippers are on defense. Always. Because every single attack from their offense comes from Steph Curry. And that is off the ball. It's such a unique, interesting thing. Obviously, there's been countless offenses in NBA history, and every offense runs plays, sets to make the, off-ball threat look like they're getting the ball, and then something else happens. But Steph Curry is so unique in the sense that you can basically run your whole offense around the threat of him being off the ball. And it's so tough to guard because coming off every single screen, whether it's him setting the screen or him coming off the screen with or without the ball, you have to throw 2 bodies at him. You can't even let him get an inch of room because Draymond is looking for that pass at all times. And when he gets that ball, he is firing it quick. And if you close out too hard, he's running, you're running him off the line. He's getting into that mid-range area where he has that floater and he can finish well with both hands. And he knows how to make the right kick. And he just got it down to a science. He's really got his game down to a science now. And because of his off-ball prowess, it lets him combat the little increase in hand checking and fouls and all that type of stuff that other players are struggling with a bit. But I thought in the first quarter we did a good job containing him in that sense. I thought we did a great job of talking over those screens and throwing two at him when we needed to, and just chasing guys like Jordan Poole and Steph from behind on those screens and creating turnovers. I think we created two turnovers off of Draymond Green in that first quarter, and Marcus Morris Sr. hit a couple of threes, semi-contested threes, and we led. And I thought Zubats was causing problems with his size, especially on the offensive glass for us. And we led 24-20 after one. It was a good first quarter. Second quarter, though, the Warriors started to create more and more turnovers. And I started to notice that of all teams that we've played so far in the league this season, they try to jump the passing lanes the most. They're very long, and they're always anticipating teams to kick it out to the three-point line because they know that's what teams like to do. They at times even gave Eric Bledsoe and certain guys just like wide open layups because they're so ready for that next pass. And a lot of these teams are programmed to sometimes even pass up mid-ranges and floaters and layups or whatnot for the kick out three, and they're ready for that next pass, especially Steph Curry. I think he did a great job of playing the passing lanes and anticipating certain jump passes, and the Clippers did a lot of that, and they do a lot of that, those jump passes. And I thought that there were very rushed offense today from the Clippers, low IQ, risky cross-court passes, and, a guy that's, and you got to, Paul doesn't set a good precedent with his 8 turnovers. We talked about Paul George's IQ throughout Dime Dropper from the beginning, from the glorified Summer League episodes to how much he's matured and gotten better off with his on-ball decision-making and pick and rolls last year in the playoffs and this season. But today, with increased physicality by Andrew Wiggins, and he wasn't able to get to the rim as easily, and obviously the Warriors being a very switch-heavy team, they did a good job. I think in the beginning, they actually tried to trap Paul George a lot and blitz him, and you could see Paul George's improvement making passes in those pocket passes to Zoo in the short roll, and we were getting good stuff. And I think the Warriors adjusted and went with a lot more Wiggins is just going to fight over the top of the screen or switch type of defense, but mostly Wiggins fighting over the top. And I also thought that a lot of our guys, especially even Paul, started not trying to drive it to the teeth of the defense enough. I thought that we were like, oh, the Warriors are going to play tough defense. They're going to hand check a bit. The refs are going to let us play. We're not going to try to put pressure close enough. Like a lot of possessions, the Clippers wouldn't even get the ball to the foul line. The whole possession would go by and just passing around at the three-point line because nobody can create separation and we're not feeding the ball inside. No one's looking to post up in the middle or anything of that nature. And I thought the Warriors showed their defensive prowess with their ability to switch, their ability to communicate. Their record doesn't lie. I always say this about teams, guys. Records do not lie. Your record is what it is for a reason. If you have had injuries, that means that injuries have killed your chemistry, and that's what your record is for a reason. The Golden State Warriors may have had an easy schedule to start the season, but they've taken full advantage of that. They've developed good habits. They've built good chemistry with one another. A lot of them are the returning players from last season. Steph Curry's playing like the best player in the league. He is the best player in the league right now. I am very confident in that statement. And right now their defense is clicking, and that's the difference with this team. Besides the fact that they make the extra pass and, they play unselfish basketball, their defense is clicking on all cylinders. And last year they were a good defensive team too, but this year they really have an extra, I don't know what it is about them, but it's like they really are. Some people were saying last year that they were not trying to win, that Kerr was messing around with rotations, and Kerr was catching heat last season too. It's like, oh, Kerr's going to waste Steph Curry's prime. Look at the way, how many coaches can get this team playing this way on both ends of the floor? Ask yourself that question. There's a reason why Kerr took this team to another level in 2015, and how soon we forget the decisions that he made, like putting Iguodala on the bench when he was the much better player, more popular choice than Harrison Barnes. How about, David Lee was injured, Draymond Green started, and his whole career changed. He was forced to put Draymond Green in that starting lineup, but his whole career changed when he started playing for Steve Kerr, and then David Lee came back, and by that time, Draymond Green had solidified that spot. So, obviously, I have a little bit of bias with Steve because, that's my pally bro right there, high school brethren. But I think Steve is a great coach, and I think that oftentimes when you have so much talent in the NBA, it can overshadow your coaching abilities. And you saw that with Eric Spoelstra, and it's the curse of having such great players. And, Steve Kerr's proven himself even more this season. And I think that the Warriors They were sharp. Let's just put it that way. But the Clippers were still not out of it. We were only down by 2, 44-42 at halftime. But third quarter Warriors, we heard about that. And that was a thing for many years in their big 3 plus KD days. Third quarter Warriors. And today was no different. And I thought that's where they kind of won the game because they really set the tone, creating more turnovers. And one thing I've talked about this season a lot, Clipper Nation, is Reggie Jackson. When he is coming off of screens on the ball, high pick and roll action, he stops his dribble way too easily. He does not turn the corner enough for me. I like when he turns the corner and gets in the mid-range. I like when he turns the corner and gets in the floater. But a lot of times when the big hedges or, when the big steps up and tries to get the ball out of his hands or just stop a drive, he stops his dribble way too prematurely. He doesn't keep the dribble alive so he can keep his options open and potentially move into a better angle for the right read. He just stops his dribble and thinks the read's going to be there. Here's the thing. He stops his dribble. Then the player that was guarding him and getting over the screen has time to get back to his hip, and the big man can get back to his guy because we have, besides Serge, with Isaiah and Zoo, they are rim rolling pick and roll centers, not pick and pop centers. So on a pick and pop scenario, it's easy to make that kick pass, but on a pick and roll, you got to keep that dribble alive if the big comes up, okay? Because it's going to be hard to just throw it over the top when a 7-footer is coming on you. And Reggie's he needs to keep his dribble alive. I'm getting really tired of that. I thought Eric Bledsoe was actually pretty decent today. I thought he tried on defense. I thought, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 4 of those being offensive rebounds and 4 of 9 and only 2 of 4 from 3. I thought he actually had a pretty solid game. But I thought that where we lost the game was in the end of the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter. It was like 77-70 or 79-70, and we just could not score. And a lot of times, again, and we've seen this at various points last year and this year, especially this year, when teams start to get physical with us and teams we see that we're playing a good defensive team that's not going to give us cheap, easy baskets where just the mere threat of Paul George's brilliance is going to create open shots for the whole team. Of course, we don't have Nico Batum. We haven't had him in either matchup versus these guys, and that has hurt tremendously. Because I was talking to my dad today, and I was saying how I think Nico may be our second best player because the difference between him and Reggie and Mook, and I guess those are the only guys that can be in that category, in that conversation. Zubats has been playing better lately, but I still wouldn't say he's our second best player because sometimes you can still get weak games from Zoo. But I think Nico's our second best player without Kawhi because despite the fact that Reggie is the 18 points, sometimes 20 plus point guy, even when Nico's not hitting, which honestly, for the most part, he hits, he does so many other little things, whether it's swinging and making the extra pass, making the right cut, playing good defense, communicating, his length, being able to switch. He does so many good things that even if he's 1 for 5, he is still such an important part of the team, making a positive impact. Reggie, there was nothing he did well tonight or today, nothing. 0 of 5, straight donut, a donut from Reggie Jackson. 0 of 3 from 3. As I said, stopping his dribble too early, not trying to drive on anybody. Eric Bledsoe, as I said, actually played pretty well, but we are very, turnover heavy. 3 turnovers from Reg. As I said, 8 from Paul. And, I think Paul kept us in the game in that late third quarter, early fourth quarter, making some ridiculous shots, even with some hand checking that wasn't called. He was hitting some tough step backs, 18-footers, you name it. But the problem is nobody besides him was really scoring. Another bad shooting night for Luke Kennard, 2 of 8 from the field and 1 of 5 from 3. He didn't shoot well either against who did we just play? He didn't shoot well against Detroit either when I was at the game. Terrence Mann also didn't have a very good game. 8 points, 5 rebounds, but 4 turnovers and only 1 of 5. I thought that the Warriors' good defense got under his skin a little bit, but we just didn't have a very good game. And I think we went really stagnant offensively at times. When we noticed their defense was good, we stopped moving. We stopped moving the ball, and it became very predictable, all perimeter oriented. And in the fourth quarter, Steph Curry put the nail in the coffin with some incredible threes. The first one was like a 30-footer. You go into the screen. You just got to hope that some guy doesn't make a 30-footer once in a while. He made it, and then he comes back, hits a little between the legs, behind the back into his right hand to a right wing pull-up coming over a screen. That's when I knew we were nailing the coffin. And then getting over the screen, we blitzed him with Bledsoe and Reggie, and he's going left, and he steps back and shoots a basically double team 3 and hits it. And the Curry fanboys were getting ticklish in the crowd. And that's the reason why I didn't go to the game today, because the Warriors, obviously they've got a lot of fans because they're, a lot of fans here in LA because, Bay Area is not too far and whatnot. But I'll tell you what, I went to every single game of the 2014 playoffs, and those were Warriors fans that were there, like 20% of the stadium, 30 at most. It was not Curry fanboys. He didn't have a cult like that yet. He hadn't changed the game of basketball yet. And honestly, I will give him his credit because Steph Curry's going to win his third MVP this season, barring injury. And I'm a big Steph Curry, I'm not like a huge fan, but I really love the guy. I think he's super unselfish. I think he's an all-time great. Obviously, he's changed the game of basketball, not for my personal preference, but he's different. When I watch him play, obviously all the 3-pointers, as I said, he's the only guy that if he's taking majority of his shots as threes, I got no problem with it because it's high percentage. Like he just makes anything he throws up there. And he has old school tendencies in the sense that he's an amazing off the ball player. And that's a very overlooked aspect of basketball today. And he utilizes pump fakes extremely well. And I just think that he has no ego really. And I love that about him. And I think that's why KD needed him more than vice versa, because Curry off the ball is just insane. Not to say that KD's not great off the ball, but Curry is like all-time levels, Rip Hamilton levels, Ray Allen, but with even more of an ability to hit shots. So that gives him even more attention than all those other guys that I just named. And with the spacing of the modern NBA, that makes you an unstoppable offense in many ways if you have the right spacers. And this year they have those spacers. And Steph, he can get you a good shot just running around out there. Seriously, he can literally get your offense a good shot just running around out there. And he's unlike any player I've ever seen. And I think he's the best player in the NBA today. I think he's going to win MVP this year. He has literally made the Warriors a brand in many ways. And I'm not saying a long-term brand of basketball, but in this last 7-year stretch or so, I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors led the NBA in jersey sales after the Lakers or something. They have become like, not to the extent of the 90s Bulls, do not get it twisted, but I'm just saying in the sense that you go to games around the league now and there are people with Curry jerseys everywhere. There are people that are repping as Warriors fans. I don't know if they're real Dubs fans, but these are fanboys. If, they want the Warriors to win. They're there to see babyface assassin Curry. He has a cult. He has a cult. I saw a sign today that said, "Here from the Philippines" for Stephen Curry. Like, this guy is starting to reach Kobe Bryant, LeBron James level fandom around the world, maybe not quite, but close to it, and also because he's like, don't mean to sound weird, but he's a handsome male. So women like him, he's a very likable guy. And now he's starting to reach crazy levels of popularity. And that's why I did not go to the game today. I'm not trying to deal with fanboy central. That can stay up north. I'll go to a game against real opposition with a real ball club called the New Orleans Pelicans tomorrow night at 7:30. So catch me at the game. Catch me on the vlog. And by the way, if you didn't see my vlog on the Pistons game, go check it out. Just posted. But yeah, the Clippers lose it. The Warriors pulled away. They were the better team, point blank. When Reggie Jackson has a donut and we don't have Nicholas Batum, we're just not going to win games against good teams like this. Stephen Curry, 33 points, 12 of 22 from the field, 7 of 13 from 3. Absolutely ridiculous. As I said, 33 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 steals. That's the biggest, I think, most impressive part of his night, honestly. Jordan Poole, he started out slow, but he got hot in that third quarter after Isaiah Hartenstein talked shit to him on a reverse layup that he blocked. And all of a sudden, Poole started making threes to the point where he was hitting bank threes at the end of the third. And that killed us. 17 points for Poole, 6 of 16 from the field, 4 of 10 from 3, 40% overall, not bad. 18 points for Otto Porter Jr. off the bench, 18 and 10 rebounds to go along with 2 steals, plus 22. He was the highest of any player in the game on 5 of 10 shooting and 3 of 7 from 3. Draymond Green, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals on 3 of 7. I thought he was okay. Played good defense, though. Andrew Wiggins played really good defense. His stat line does not do him justice. 12 points, 7 boards, 2 blocks on 4 of 12 from the field. 2 of 5 from 3, though. He did seem to hit a high percentage of those. The Warriors shot 42.5% from 3, 17 of 40 as they win 105-90. I think they've won 8 straight, and now they are 18-2. And with Klay comes back, they are as real a championship contender as it gets. I still think the Suns are the best team in the league right now, but the Warriors are right there with them. Paul George, another really solid night. 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, but the 8 turnovers was way too much. I only say he was very solid because he was the only one that was consistently giving us good chance to score. I already talked about Eric Bledsoe, 13 and 10. Reggie, 0 of 5, 0 points, just not good enough. Zubats only played 21 minutes, and I honestly think that's a mistake. I think he needs to play more. 8 points, 8 rebounds for Zoo. 3 of 5 from the field. Marcus Morris Sr., he's still getting his legs underneath him, so I'm not too mad about his performance. 13 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. 5 of 13 from the field and 2 of 5 from three. Not too terrible, honestly. Need some more games. But the rest, we didn't get anything from the bench. A combined 26 points from the bench, and some of those were in garbage time. So Clippers dropped to 11-9, 105-90, but they're back tomorrow against the Pelicans, and I'll be there with another game day vlog. I've gone a little long here about the Clippers, so let's go over to the Lakers now against the Pistons. The Lakers coming off a triple overtime thriller. If you didn't catch my thoughts on that, check out the recap. But they're playing the Pistons tonight, the same Pistons team that I saw get obliterated by the Clips. And I noticed in the first quarter, again, Frank Vogel persisting with this lineup of DeAndre Jordan and Avery Bradley, who are, especially Avery Bradley at this point, is not offering anything. At this point, I would just start Ellington and just take Bradley out of the rotation because his defense, it's definitely better than Ellington and all them. But, when it's a mismatch, he doesn't do anything. Rotations, he's not that great. He's just pretty good on the ball, and he fights through screens. But against bigger wings now, he's just not the same. He's a little slower now. And he's not that same 2020 version. And there's a reason why the Warriors waived him. So I think the Lakers need to put him in the back burner and just have him as a bench warmer, ready for if someone gets hurt. Wayne Ellington has not really played much, and he didn't play much tonight. But I think he should be I think he's a better option starting. DeAndre Jordan, though, in the beginning of the game, he was just clogging up the paint, not doing much. The defense was out of whack. The Pistons went up 7-1, and I was thinking to myself, here we go again. Vogel starting out with DJ and Avery Bradley, and it's just not really paying dividends. They're digging themselves into a little bit of holes. They come back off the timeout. Anthony Davis does a really good job getting to the rim on he was isolated on the left wing, sweep through, 2 dribbles, and a dunk. Then after that, rim run, seal in transition. I don't remember if it was Russ or LeBron. I think it was Russ that threw it over the top. AD got a layup, and then he made a 3. So again, we always talk about it with AD. We've been talking about it for over a year. Start out getting easy baskets inside, then the jumper will fall when you see things go through. And I thought that he ended the first quarter much better. I think the Laker defense was pretty good in that first quarter. And the only reason why the Pistons were still in the game were Jeremy Grant, who was hitting, and Cade Cunningham, who played much better today than he did against my Clippers. He actually showed me some real stuff today and was hitting mid-ranges off screens. And so the Lakers were only up by 2 after 1. I thought LeBron found a pretty good balance in the first quarter of, trying to push it in transition as quickly as he can, even if it meant not controlling and dictating the offense. But I also thought that DJ, after the initial timeout and me, saying deflections in the half-court defense, defensively in the half-court, and there was one play where he ran just like AD, and LeBron threw him a bullet nice pass, and he sealed nicely and dunked. And Russ also got up to a pretty good start shooting the ball, hit his bank shot, his classic, bank shot on the left side of the court that he's really hit at a high level, had a high clip this season. And then he hit a 3 as well. And in the second quarter in the LeBron-led unit, I thought LeBron played well. He hit some 3s, and his shot was going tonight. And that's the thing about LeBron. He's clearly showing that even though he got to the rim a decent amount tonight, he's clearly going more 3-point heavy this season, and that's what is the evolution of his game as he's gotten older. And he's gotten much better at that 3 ball. The only thing is, what is he going to do when that's not going in? And that's what we saw the other night against Sacramento. That proved to be one of the reasons they lost, is what is he going to do when that shot's not falling? Tonight it was falling, and it was opening up other things for him. Even there was a small lineup in that second quarter where the Lakers went with LeBron at the 5, and obviously only Isaiah Stewart was the tallest guy for the Pistons, so it wasn't like there was some big guy that could take advantage of LeBron or the Lakers in that sense. But LeBron as a screener, similar to how Giannis is a screener, and we saw that in Cleveland with Kyrie at times and in Miami. I love LeBron as the screener because when he's rolling to the basket, man, you got to throw 2 bodies on him to stop that freight train. And there was one play, I don't remember who got the assist, but LeBron was the screener, and he got a layup, I believe. And I liked it a lot. No Dwight Howard tonight. He was rested in favor of a little bit of LeBron at the 5, and then they put DJ and AD back together. Usually DJ just starts the first half and second half, and then he doesn't play for the rest of the half usually, except for very few occasions this season. But today he came back in to kind of like almost close the second quarter with AD, and I thought it was just going a little stagnant again. I thought the Lakers kind of let up, and the Pistons cut it down to within 3 at the half, but Russ, Braun, and AD had found a fairly nice rhythm. I didn't think AD was too great in the second quarter when he came back in off the bench after his strong first, but LeBron and AD got going, in the big 3 were all in double figures at half, which was a good sign and would prove to be something good going into the second half. Jeremy Grant, Cade Cunningham are doing well. Frank Jackson, fairly impressive today also with his jump shot, especially on one shot in the right corner. If you watch the game, you'll remember. He caught the ball, and there was, I think, a Melo or a 6'7" like guy closing out on him, and he kept the ball up high without even bringing it down, just caught it and fired it up in one motion. It was very impressive. But second half and in the third quarter is where the Lakers finally started playing like the team that you expect them to be before the season. And by what they did was they created turnovers and started to finally get some stops. And when they were getting stops, and a lot of them were honestly the Pistons just getting the same looks they made in the first half, and they just didn't make them. Like I'm not, it wasn't all great Laker defense, but when they started missing, and I thought especially LeBron did a really good job of outletting and looking for his teammates, especially Russ, up ahead of the court. And Russ did a good job of attacking. LeBron had a nice lob to AD, and AD had some nice pick and rolls with Russ, where Russ did a good job finding him on those lobs when he got smaller guys switched on to him when they did that. Overall, just a good third quarter for the Lakers. THT finally, after a slow first half, shooting the ball, made a spot up three. I think it was LeBron on the kick. And the Lakers went up by 16. And, at that point, Laker fans are starting to think, do we have this in the bag? LeBron's still hitting threes. And slowly but surely, the Lakers kind of take their foot off the gas. And the Pistons outscored the Lakers 36-27 in the fourth to cut it down to 6, cut it down to 4. Jeremy Grant, Cade Cunningham making threes. Cade Cunningham did a good job of, coming off screens and showing me a little something today. But one thing I didn't like, the Pistons, Trey Lyles was also hitting as well on those pick and pops especially. But Pistons, they had a real chance to get back in this game. They had some stupid plays. There was one time in the fourth quarter where Melo tried to outlet, and I don't think he even knew what he was doing. He just thought he had a Laker teammate up ahead, outlet it, and he went straight to Sadiq Bey's hands in half court at half court. And they had a 3-on-1 break or something, and they settled for a 3. They missed. And then Westbrook came down the court, and I think it was Malik Monk who had not hit a jump shot the whole game. And they treated him like he was Steph Curry and stuck to Malik Monk like glue and didn't pick up the ball, which was Russell Westbrook, on a wide open red carpet runway to the basket. It was just the worst basketball. And guys, I'm telling you this right now, and this is not hating. This is real shit. There's some of the basketball that is played today in the NBA, stretches and possessions, are so appalling and terrible. I cannot even emphasize how stupid it is. It's so bad. It's actually so bad. I wish I could literally break it down how terrible it is sometimes. And that was one of them. But they made it, Russ started getting lazy off the ball on defense. I remember there was one possession late in the fourth quarter where he just fell asleep ball watching and a guy cut back door on him. I think it was Sadiq Bey or Frank Jackson. And the Lakers were over helping on drives when they did not need to, over doubling, and guys were hitting threes that got him back in the game. But ultimately, the Lakers closed the door. A really nice and one by LeBron going right, getting that shoulder into Cade Cunningham, or was it Killian Hayes? Killian Hayes was introduced to the shoulder a couple times tonight. Unstoppable. And he lowers that into you. He creates so much space. You just bounce off of him like a bullet off Superman's chest. But Anthony Davis also with some good plays to close the game. A lot of them created by Russell Westbrook overall. And Westbrook with a nice layup on, I think it was with the left hand or right hand. I don't know. He drove to the basket and finished the game nicely when they tried to press LeBron a little bit. And Russ had some nice cuts tonight. And overall, the Lakers get the job done with the win. It was not pretty. 110-106 over Detroit. They move on to 11-11. Finally, 2 games in a row with the big 3 intact. So let's see if they can get 10 games in a row together, and then we can really start making some judgments on this team. Jeremy Grant, 32 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists on 11 of 20 from the field and 4 of 6 from 3. Sadiq Bey had a tough shooting night, even though he had 11 rebounds, 2 of 9 from the field and 0 of 3 from 3. Cade Cunningham, 15 points, 11 rebounds, 5 turnovers, though, 6 of 16 from the field and 3 of 9 from 3. And then Trey Lyles, 5 of 7 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 13 points and 7 boards. Frank Jackson, 17 points on 5 of 13 from the field and 3 of 8 from 3. And Hamidou Diallo chipping in with 10 points on 4 of 7 for Detroit. For the Lakers, off the bench, Talen Horton-Tucker ended up having a decent game. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and no turnovers on 4 of 10 from the field. His 3-ball, still not been great. Only 1 of 4 in that department. Malik Monk had an inconsistent, a typical inconsistent showing where he just didn't play well tonight after having a really good game the other night. 1 of 5 from the field, 2 points for Malik in 22 minutes. Wayne Ellington only played 15 minutes, 2 of 4 from the field for 5 points. Carmelo just had a stinker tonight. Donut for Melo, 0 of 7 and 0 of 4 from 3. Bradley also with a donut, 0 of 5 from the field and 0 of 4 from 3. And almost all those were wide open. DeAndre Jordan, 21 minutes played, 9 points, 6 boards, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 4 of 4. So not too bad, plus 8 as well. And then the big three. Russell Westbrook, another great game. 2 really good games in a row for him. 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists, and only 3 turnovers. So 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. 10 of 16 from the field, and 1 of 3 from 3. Only shot 3 threes, stayed aggressive. The only thing that's a little bit of a concern, 4 of 8 from the foul line. Lakers only shooting 15 of 25 from the line tonight. 60%, not good enough against better teams. Anthony Davis, decent game, still should shoot more than 15 shots, especially when he's shooting 66% from the field. 24 and 10, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 10 of 15 in 38 minutes, 2 of 2 from 3. LeBron, probably my player of the game overall. I thought he played really well tonight. 33 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, and I think it was all in the flow without forcing too much and putting anybody in a box. 12 of 20 from the field. 4 of 9 from 3, and 5 of 8 from the line. The only thing is the free throws. And it was only 2 turnovers. So the Lakers only committing 12 turnovers. It's one of the reasons they won tonight. But that's it for the basketball portion. I also want to talk Rams for just a second against the Packers. 3 games in a row lost. And I've noticed I had a bad feeling today when Matt Stafford again, this was a fumble this time, right around our own end zone. And the Packers, scored within a couple of plays, and it just sets a terrible precedent. Just a terrible start to the game to give the ball away and gift points like that. And we've done it again. We did it against Tennessee, and we did it against San Francisco, and then we had more interceptions, and it throws everything out of whack. I think obviously other parts of the team can be better. Van Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Odell, a couple times, catches that have been routine in the beginning of the season, getting dropped, and balls, the careless passes by Stafford, 0-3 since we got Von Miller. And I'm a little bit concerned. We need to start getting some wins before we start this playoffs, because if we keep losing, our playoff chances are in jeopardy. I still think we'll be fine. I'm trying to go to the game next week, though. I've been planning it out all season to go to the game next week against the Jags, my first Rams game at SoFi. I'm trying to go and get a vlog for you guys there. But we'll see. But very concerning right now. I mean, the Packers are a good team, and Lambeau is a tough place to play. But I am concerned. Chelsea, Man United. We're going to close it at that. We're going to end around the 35-minute mark, maybe a little over. But Chelsea, Man United at Stamford Bridge. I expected 3 points. No Lukaku still, but he was on the bench today, so it was really good to see Rum back into things. But you saw very clearly what Man United was trying to do. And that was to play 3 defensive midfielders with Matic, McTominay, and Fred, and park the bus and hope for a counterattack. And that's one way that Chelsea, when I've talked about them earlier this season, we struggle when teams, and we've struggled for like 3 years now, when teams put 10 men behind the ball and absorb the pressure and try to get us to break them down. And we struggle with that. We don't really have too much great creativity. Ziyech is pretty creative, and he had some good moments today. I thought he was good. Hudson-Odoi was okay. He works a little bit better in space, not when teams just park it, even though he has good service. We didn't really have a target man, though, in the middle. Timo Werner's not big. He is really good at just popping up with opportunities and making good runs, but he's not the same against big center backs like Baye and Lindelof as a Lukaku would be. We couldn't really create too many chances outside of Callum Hudson-Odoi getting it on goal in the first 10 minutes. De Gea made a really good foot save. And, going into the half, we hadn't created much. And then in the second half, a terrible mistake by Jorginho of all people. Of all people, Jorginho. Terrible touch at midfield. Sancho has the ball and is just running. Nobody going to catch him. He could have done so many things. He could have passed it to Marcus Rashford. He eventually was basically shooting at an empty net because Mendy was in between a rock and a hard place. And I was concerned for a sec. I was hoping to see Ronaldo start the whole game because ever since I've been a Chelsea fan, and that's been 12 years, I've never seen us play against Ronaldo. So I was hoping that I would see us play against him, but he came in off the bench and didn't really do anything. But We went down. We got a penalty, somewhat generous. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, tried to clear the ball and hit Thiago Silva in the back of the leg, and Jorginho finished the penalty. And then Antonio Rudiger had the best chance of the game besides that at the very end where he skied it over the top. I don't think he thought the ball was going to get to him. It was a last-minute cross. But in the end, not a great result for Chelsea. I think our only bad result of the season besides the Burnley draw at home. Man City, we got outplayed. I'm not going to say that we should have gotten a result there, but we didn't even create too many chances. And I hope Mason Mount and Christian Pulisic get back into the starting lineup for the next game at least. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi, as great as he's been, needs a little bit of a rest. I thought Hakim Ziyech played well. I wouldn't mind if he stayed in the starting 11, but I'm excited to see Lukaku back in there. We need our main man back, get him some confidence again, get him in the goals because he hasn't scored since, I think, September. So we need to get him back in the goals, get his confidence going again. But I'm not too pressed about the draw. At least we didn't lose, but we should have gotten 3 points. And with 14 or 15 corners to 1, and we just every single one got cleared. We got to do better. But good play for Man United. You got to give them credit. They came, they defended, and they got the result. I also watched Liverpool this weekend. They were on and all cylinders, just playing so great this season. The typical Liverpool we saw in 2020. They move the ball so fast. They're connected. They know where each other is, or they know where each other are. Their fullbacks just bomb forward and cause problems. They move the ball quickly. They're inventive. And Salah is just playing the best football of his career. And, Sadio Mane is always dangerous. And Diogo Jota has been great this season. 7 goals in 14 games or 7 goals in 13 games. He pops up in the right place at the right time. He's been great, even though Firmino has not been able to play every game and doesn't need to play every game because Diogo Jota has been so good. I thought Fabinho was good. I thought Thiago Alcantara was good. He even got a goal on a deflection, and it was very comfortable for Liverpool in the end. And then Arsenal. They've really turned the corner since Arteta's really been able to get his signings integrated into the team. Tomiyasu, another assist this weekend. Or I don't know if I'm saying another, like he's gotten one before. I don't know if he has. If you're an Arsenal fan, correct me. But Tomiyasu, great ball over the top. Great one-time finish by Martinelli coming off the bench. Aubameyang, another quiet game. But overall, Arsenal, they also move the ball well, much better than in the past. Much more forward thinking, not as much sideways, backwards, conservative passing, taking more risks, looking a lot more creative and dangerous. And they are starting to play an actual attractive style of soccer again, like the old Arsenal days. And, Bukayo Saka is one of the reasons that is. Same with Emile Smith-Rowe, 2 young players from the academy that are really starting to blossom this season. Saka, obviously, I've become a sympathy for him after the year Cup final missed penalty. But a great goal this weekend again, slithering through and finishing nicely. And Tomiyasu, great. Thomas Partey, great. And I really like Sambi Lokonga, too. I think he's got, a good creativity about him. He slings the ball well across the pitch and makes good forward passes. And I just like he has good potential. And I think Arsenal will finish top 6 this season. I initially had them finishing 8th, but I think they're going to finish top 6. And depending on how Man United do with the new manager, I think Arsenal could sneak into that 4th spot. I really do. I think they are a better team than I thought. And now that we've seen them integrate their signings, Ben White, Gabriel, even Nuno Tavares, who's been really good going both ways at left back, I think that Arsenal are starting to show some signs, and Arteta is starting to really secure his job long-term, or at least for the rest of the season and maybe next season. Thanks for joining me, guys, for this weekend recap. Sorry I went on a little long. Hope I got you guys caught up on everything. Let me hear from the live subscribers, 15 of you waiting so patiently in the chat. What's up, y'all? Thank you so much. I see the comments. Thanks so much for waiting so patiently. That guy Spencer. Shout out to my guy Spencer, man. He says Zubac's got to go experiment over Team Man. Zubac's got to go experiment over. Wow, really? He's been playing great lately, Spence. Team Man has to man up and help PG. Scipio says, yo, Russ actually developed a J. Those mid-range made from the left wing was sweet. Dude, come on. He's had that for a while. You don't know this? Scipio, come on. Yeah, BFNS says Lakers need another wing defender right now. Ariza's much needed due to Ariza's not in anymore. That guy Spencer says Lakers have way too many stars to play this bad. To be honest, they can't change their first rounder playing team. I agree with that. BFNS23 says Ariza is not washed. He gave Miami good minutes last season. He'll do a better job guarding wings than Bradley or THT. We'll see. Right? Says, Darian, how you doing, man? How's your Thanksgiving? I'm doing all right, man. Been better. But I'm starting to slowly get back into the swing of things of, getting back on the content and maybe continue with that timeline. My Thanksgiving was solid. How about you? Scipio says Lakers won the 20 chip being a bad 3-point shooting team. They might be able to run that again. I don't know, Scipio. Their defense was much better then. Right? It says Darian, should the Lakers try giving Bazemore another chance? He's athletic and provides much needed length, and he did play decent next to LeBron at the start of the season before the ab strain. I agree, actually. I think they maybe should give Bazemore a chance. Jazz Deep Lyall says, Dime, your early Super Bowl prediction. Buccaneers versus let's look at the standings right now. I mean, the standings, if I'm going to make you a nice pick. I mean, the Pats are getting hot, 8-4. Chiefs are starting to look like they're coming together, 4 wins in a row. Ravens, though, 8-3 as well. Titans, Jesus. Let's go with the Chiefs. I'm going to say they're going to start continuing this streak, and we'll see Chiefs Bucks rematch. That's what I'll go with for now. Right? It says, Darian, did you see Man City PSG? I did. Scipio says, also, Melo was down bad this game. If he was productive, it wouldn't be a 6-point game. I agree, Scipio. He wasn't. I mentioned that. Right? It says, Darian, why did Ronaldo come off the bench? I don't know. Maybe it was just some rest. And who do you think deserves the 2021 Ballon d'Or? As much as people are campaigning for Jorginho to win it, I don't think he should win it. It's tough. Robert Lewandowski? I don't know. He should be in the consideration. He's been so good for so many years. He never gets rewarded for anything. I don't think Messi, but he did win Copa America. So you could make an argument. I don't really know, if we're being honest. Why not give it to Robert Lewandowski one year? Why not? Liverpool or Man City? Scipio asks. That's a great question. They're both really good right now. I think when we played Man City, they were much tougher than when we played Liverpool. But Liverpool do have more goals in them. Man City, though, I'm going to have to go Man City for now. They're the champions. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Kyle Dominic Hughes says, curious, why didn't you go to the Warriors game? Expensive tickets and Curry fanboys. I already said it in the beginning. Yo, I'm going to be there. Are you going to be there tomorrow, Spence? I'm going to be there tomorrow. Lake Show says, do you think Amir should be demoted down to the G League? No, I don't. Joey Sixpack asked, thoughts on DeMarcus Cousins signing to the Bucks? I like that. I really like that. And I'm really happy for Boogie because I like him from his Clipper days last year. Warriors or Suns? I like the Suns. But when Klay comes back, I could go with the Warriors. Showtime Nick says, nothing wrong with Steve Kerr bias. You're absolutely on point about how great he is, and Mark Jackson made them good. Steve Kerr made them elite. You're right. That Spo got overshadowed too. Not sure what made Phil Jackson not overshadowed, though, because I don't think anyone took credit away from him. I was going to say that, Showtime Nick. I was going to say that about Phil. Right? Oh, by the way, someone asks, Joey Sixpack asks, best teams that have lost in the finals? Someone asked Virgil Van Dyke or Ramos Van Dyke. Right now, Van Dyke, no question. Van Dyke's the best center back in the world. And he has been for like 3 years, to me, in my opinion, at least. Thoughts on DeMarcus? Oh, no, you said, okay, best teams that have lost in the finals. 2013 Spurs. I thought they were pretty good. 2010 Celtics. They're pretty good. 06 Mavs are good, but I wouldn't have them over the two teams I just named. '05 Pistons. The Celtics in '85 and the Celtics in '87. Any team with those Celtics are nasty. '84 Lakers, no question. And yeah, 70 Lakers. No, not the 70 Lakers. 69 Lakers. Definitely up there. Definitely up there. But yeah. Let's see what else. Darian, does it bother you that Steph's cult has started the narrative? He's the GOAT PG and is one championship run away from solidifying it and even being a top 10 player of all time. Yeah, it definitely bothers me. That's ridiculous. GOAT point guard. People just don't. Yeah, whatever. Kyle Dominic, you asked, are you like me who thinks that Curry is the MVP favorite? It's not close. Yeah, I am like you. Spence says we need a third option for the Clippers other than Morris, Man, and Luke. I think we lack feeding the post. Zubac's got to demand the ball more. 15 and 15 is all I ask. How many people are, let me ask you this though, Spence. How many people are averaging 15 and 15 in the NBA right now? That's not easy to pull, bro. How many people are averaging that? Yeah, Lakes just said the Sonics, the 96 Sonics. Yeah, they may be, they're honorable mention. Right? It says 2019 Warriors. I don't really count them because they were injured. So, like, if they were healthy, yeah, but it's a bunch of if. I wasn't counting the if healthy teams. 2017 Cavs, they were pretty damn good because LeBron played so well. He played better than 2016. That was low-key the beginning of, like, LeBron's real, like, those 2 years, 17 and 18, were his best years to me, offensively at least. But I don't know, man. When you lose in 5 games, I don't know if I can consider you one of the best finals teams of all time. You got to get it to 6 or 7 games. I don't care what team you play. Ooh, 88 Pistons. I was the one I forgot about. They're 100% in that conversation. Oh, that guy Spencer says, tomorrow I won't be there, but I'll be there Wednesday. I'll be there Wednesday too against the Kings. And on the 26th, Denver. I'll see about Denver, but I'll be there against the Kings. Not 04 Lakers, Raid. No, too much selfishness. They got 4-1, and they could have gotten swept. Kobe had to make a game-tying 3, so nah, they're too dysfunctional to me. Kyle Dominic Hughes says, man, thinking about those 2013 Spurs, remember when Danny Green was lighting it up from 3? People actually thought he could be finals MVP. I don't remember anyone saying that, but I do remember him lighting it up from 3. How do I feel about Theo Maledon? He's all right. He's cool. Why? 2016 Warriors, for sure. I had to mention them. They could be number 1. My bad. I slipped on them. The Phoenix Play Z says the Warriors are by far the best team in the league. Okay, I don't know about that. And are way deeper than 2015-16. Really? With prime Iguodala, not prime, but like really good Iguodala and Sean Livingston and Leandro Barbosa and Azili? I don't know if they're deeper. Plus, they haven't even gotten their core 73-9 of Steph, Dre, and Clay fully healthy. Thoughts? Well, they're my thoughts. Do I think the Warriors will win 65 plus? No. I think they may win 60. Really? Are they about to win 60? It depends if Steph stays healthy all year. Yeah, Curry will probably pass Ray Allen. If I was one of the fans that won 10K at a Clipper game, Lake Show asks, I would probably save it up and plan and strategically plan what I want to do with certain amounts of that money. Joey Sixpack asked, thoughts on Plummer Jim so far this season? So I did watch him play the other night for the first time. He looks slow, man. Slow, overweight, lazy. Looked like KD was playing with a bunch of fruits. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's still top 10 probably, maybe. But he ain't looking all that. Right? It says, Darian, who you got coming out of the East right now? I got the Bucks. Even though there's, they got some wins. They're stringing together some wins. But I think Miami definitely in that mix. Chicago, not this season. But they can make the second round. And maybe the conference finals if they have the right matchup. Spencer says probably 5. But I see Zoo as a lethal big that can space the floor for the Clippers to dish out, and we clearly miss Batum. But he spaced the floor by doing what, though? He never shoots foul line jumpers. So, like, how can he space the floor? Showtime Nick says, I feel like Bay Area football fans exist in SoCal more than basketball or baseball, to be honest. I even know Lakers and Dodger fans that are 49er fans. Okay. Right? Says Darian, I think Warriors win 60. They're on pace for over 70 right now. Well, then maybe they'll win 60. Kyle Dominic, this 73-9 were definitely better than this team. Lake Show says nice. Phoenix Play Z says Wiggins completely destroys any one of the role players on 16. Warriors same for Poole. I don't know, man. Harrison Barnes and Andrew Bogut were good. And first of all, Andre Iguodala, I'm really about to just sit here and act like he wasn't really, really good at everything, or like very, very good at everything. Not really, really good at anything except for defense. But I don't know. Who is Plumber Jim? That's James Harden. Do you think anyone will take Kyrie after everything going on? Asked Joey Sixpack. It depends if the Nets put him up for trade. I think a lot of teams that don't have those mandates could take him and want him. Showtime Nick says, so true about Steph making the Warriors a brand. I remember when the Warriors were a joke when I first started watching basketball. Yeah, same. He was at the Under Armour store in Tokyo. That's gone now. Phoenix Plays, he says, Iggy was good with this current Warriors bench. Just far more three-point shooting and more offensively talented players, and there's still clamps on D. More three-point shooting, sure. I think, I don't know. It's definitely a debate, I guess. It's definitely a debate. What? Damian Lee, Otto Porter. Poole starts, though, right? I don't know, man. Barbosa and Sean Livingston and here's my thing. You can say what you want about your threes, but who was hitting contested mid ranges like Sean Livingston like that? That was reliable. And Leandro Barbosa put a lot of pressure on defense by getting to the rim. Raid Chowdhury says also, Darian, which award do you think value more? Regular season MVP or finals? I think regular season MVP is for the better players. I think somebody can get off in a series. But I do think that finals MVP is more important because it means you win the championship. It's really about the championship. I don't really care if you win finals MVP, but if you win the championship, that's really important to me. But as far as MVPs, I don't know. It's a tough one. You can go both ways with that one. Oh, you like that? The wave, Kyle Dominic He said seeing the wave was hilarious. Lake Show says, how would you feel about Clippers making a run at 8 and Curry and Durant both averaging 28.3 points this season, and their true shooting percentage is 60%. I think that's been incredible. I think they're the two best players in the league. Anything else? I'll give you the Sean Livingston point, but still the fact that the Warriors can legitimately burn you every possession if you trap Steph, and this is without Clay, is crazy to me. I feel you, Phoenix, but is it crazy? Because I feel like a lot of these players catch and shoot, like guys that can shoot the ball, exist in the NBA. I feel like this is the prototypical guy now. 3-and-D guys. I feel like they got a couple of them. Interesting. All right, guys. Peace out. Tomorrow, though, vlog. Check out my last one. Make sure to leave a like, comment. Make sure, guys, when you see my videos, try to click on it as soon as possible and comment so we can get back in favor of these algorithms. All right? Peace out.